Like the crazy thing is I was like up more than $1,000 today.
Yeah.
I could have just let it go. I could have just taken it, but I was anchored. I was anchored at my trend price, and I
What?
could have made $6,000. So I was like, I'm not going to give up $6,000 to make one. And I made the stupid mistake. I don't have that 6,000.
Right,
That's a number on my screen.
right.
All right, just close the trade or pay attention to what's going on. It's the problem when you work. If when you work and you can't just trade constantly, you're looking at different things and you're making split second decisions. You're like, I'll just look back later. Because the last 3 times I looked back, I was up. So why would I stop that now? But you didn't trade today, right?
Oh,
You
well,
traded in the overnight.
we did the overnight, so I was up 150 there, so very happy. And then I wasn't gonna trade, I was just gonna look, but then I saw the red candle shooting down. I was like, let me just get in and out. I got a quick 30, and I said, that's it. All right. Because yesterday I did a quick 60, and then I went for a little bit more, and it ended up negative 1600. So in and out, in and out. I was very happy. So I'll just keep doing that for now.
All right. Well, welcome to Revelations for Wednesday, February 11th, 2026. I'm your illustrious trading guide, Tom Sacred Prophet Hartman, joined for the time being by my first acolyte, Peter Baguru Hartman.
Time
On
being.
Revelations, yes, you're on thin ice, Peter. I might let you go if I can get a very attractive woman to take your place. I will do that immediately. On Revelations, we go over the trade setups for the past day and the day ahead, all to teach you, the congregation, how to use divine indicators to trade for profit and purpose. Today, we'll be taking a look at MNQ from the lens of a prop firm trader. So, like, follow, and listen, because the next few minutes might just change your life. How's that for an intro? Huh? How's
Might
that for
just
an
change
intro?
it. I like
That's
that.
right.
Tantalizing. That's better
Mic
than
drop.
an.
Let's just peek it there. Let's get going. Roll the credits. Peter, today was a great example of chop, 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 chop. All right. Now, the chop happened for a number of different reasons, right? When we're talking about chop, when we're talking about chop for the market over here, if you want to pull up the chart, we're talking about this sort of thing. We're talking where the market is moving up and down in a range, up and down and up and down and up and down. All right. What are the four types of trades we're looking for, Peter? We're looking for trend. We want the full trend, or we want a partial trend. If we can't get that, we want to trade scalping. If we can't get that, we don't trade at all. I did not follow my rules. I did not follow the rules. Look, even speaking to the Lord of liquidity, even I can make a mistake. I know it seems like it can't happen. It seems completely improbable,
Okay.
but we all fall short from the glory of gold. All right. So, but we did do part of it well, or I did do part of it well, and
But
then
wait,
after that,
you made $600. So I mean, that's not bad.
no, I gave some. I ended the day at up
Oh, that's
like
right. You gave it all back. You
250,
dumb
300, something
idiot.
like
You
that. Not all of
stupid,
it. I
stupid
made
idiot.
a few. I gave back half of that.
All right. Anyway, I
Okay,
can't
here's the thing.
criticize
All
you.
right,
I can't criticize you.
all right, all right, all right, all right, all right. Sorry, when you talk on top of me, rage builds within me.
Okay.
All right, all right.
Get on with it.
So first off, remember yesterday when we left off yesterday, we said, hey, the easiest trade in the world is when markets open at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for futures. The easiest trade in the world is what, Peter? Please tell me you get it right. Please tell me you know what the answer is.
The overnight trade.
Yeah, that overnight trade, that first trade at 6 p.m.
Yeah.
Eastern Standard Time. Futures open. What's the easiest trade to do?
What's the easiest trade to do? VWAP? Trend? Trend.
Correct.
Yeah.
No, you place an order, a trade in the direction of VWAP, of the
That's right.
previous day's VWAP.
That's right. The previous day's VWAP. Okay. We place an order in the direction of the previous day VWAP. So there's going to be a
No,
VWAP that
Peter,
forms that.
I get that you can repeat things after I said it. You already missed the boat. All right,
No,
you're supposed to know this
I'm trying to
beforehand.
commit it to memory because,
Peter,
look,
you did the
honestly,
trade last night. You did the trade at 6 p.m. Okay, last night.
half the time I don't even listen to you. Okay. So I'm trying to commit it to memory. So, because I remember what you said when at 6 o'clock there is a new VWAP that opens, but that's not the one we're looking at. We're looking at the the previous one.
Correctamundo, the value of VWAP at the
Mhm.
close of the bar before 6 o'clock. So whatever VWAP was there at the close of the session, that's what we're looking at. And there's two VWAPs. There's session VWAP, and there is the overnight VWAP, the full VWAP for the full session.
But you
So
also said that the first
yeah,
candle at 6 p.m. might not be indicative, right?
yeah, it might be a little Gollum. It might be a little tricksy.
Right.
It might. Hey, ho, ho. Maybe I'm gonna go one direction. I'm gonna fake you out. Yeah, that can happen. So generally speaking, I think I backtested it. It's something like 75% of the time. If you just take if there's enough room between the price and VWAP, like if you're right at VWAP, like we are today, then
Mhm.
it's problematic. But if there's enough room, and this was enough room yesterday, if you take that trade, generally speaking, with enough of a stop, you're going to get to the VWAP level. And then you take that trade. I think
But
it's
we
something like 75% of the time.
but we didn't wait. If we had waited, we would have missed our trade yesterday. We would have been stopped
No,
out.
we would have had to give it more room. We would have had to give it a
Oh,
larger
I
stop
see. I
loss.
see. I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So that was the trade yesterday. It opened up at 6 p.m. The VWAP levels were right here at let's call it around 25,340 on MNQ. And the idea is that we were just going to take the trade right at open and we rode it all the way up to here. The trade ended around almost 11 o'clock at night. And it was a nice, what was it? Something like 70 points, right? 70 points, $140. If you're trading one micro, so one contract in MNQ, easy trade to make. Sometimes these trades can be 300 points, like
Hmm.
easy. So you can make 600 bucks right on one trade at night and just enjoy it. I mean, I love when those things happen. After that, the next trade after that, if you get to that take profit level, which is the VBOP levels, and they get crossed. So over here, they got crossed. Both of them got crossed. The next trade you can take, if you're a little bit braver, is you reverse the trade.
Hmm.
So that's what I did. I took a short from over here and hold it. All right. I'm all about getting into trades as early as possible.
Is
I
that
am not really a confirmation guy. Why? Because I don't lose any less money. I don't know. Maybe you trade differently, and it's better for other people. I don't lose any less money if I wait for a confirmation. What happens is that I get into the move 15-20% after the move is already done, like already happening, and then I got to give it more room, and I might get stopped out, whatever. I freaking hate that. I get into the trade immediately.
is
All
that
right,
what you're calling perfect entries?
correct. A perfect entry is when you're taking an entry at a level from our indicator, right? From the level, you take a trade from there. It's perfect. Now, here, what was great is that the two VWAP levels, which is the overnight VWAP and the session VWAP, were basically all together, right? Sometimes they're wide apart, right? Sometimes they are like this, where they're wide apart. So this is a near perfect entry because we came down to this is yesterday's. It comes down to the session VWAP, but the perfect entry is down over here at the daily VWAP. And then it goes back to the other way, and you could take the trade up. Over here, it happened over the overnight, so you wouldn't have taken this trade. But whenever the price hits the furthest VWAP and you get in there, that to me is the perfect entry. Does it mean that the perfect entry will not fail? No. But it means that you're far more likely to get the entire reversal, the entire trend at those levels, because that's where changes usually happen at those levels or at a specific time, right? So those two trades were banger trades. The open up to here and down. The important thing to remember here is that we knew about that initial trade setup yesterday before futures open. This is
Right.
the thing I love the most. We know the time. We know how far we're aiming for. We know where our target price. We know our risk. It's like we already knew either we're going to lose 75 bucks on that trade or we're going to make the 70 points. We already knew that was going to happen. There's not like a bunch of other things that can occur. And I love trade setups like that. We don't already know what the setup is. Now,
And you already know what you're risking. You already know what your downsides are going to be. That's the thing, right?
correct.
You don't want to get into these trades going, "Oh, this is guaranteed. I'm going to win it." And if I lose, what I risk. If I lose the $75, which is what my stop loss is at, then oh, I'm having a sad day. No, I'm going into the trade. You told me this, Tom. You're going into the trade ready to lose that $75. That way you don't get shaken out of your position. You don't get afraid. Your emotions don't let you get carried away. You go in, you get it, or you don't get it. And if you're trading prop firms, you have a specific amount of drawdown and you have specific bites at the apple. Don't play the game of, oh, it's going up, oh, it's going down, and chasing and all that stuff. You just commit yourself to the movement and you lose what you lose or you win what you win. That's it.
Amen, brother Hartman. Exactly. Plus, because you know how much you might get, you know how many bites of this apple you can take. Me at a
Right.
70 points, I'm not willing to try more than 2 times to get into this trade. Let's say I got stopped out immediately. I try one more time. After that, I'm not really interested because I don't want to risk $500 in order to make $100. To me, that doesn't make a lot of sense. Some other people like that. I don't like that sort of trading. So you get a better idea. All right. Now today is a great example of what happens when there's a volatility event in that day, right? A predictable volatility event. We had news come out for jobs. ADP non-farm payrolls came out. We had oil build inventories. We had uh, a bunch of job unemployment. I think dropped from 4.4 to 4.3. Big news event today, and that's why we had this big, massive candle here right at 8:30. Now, what happens before 8:30? Now, I'm not a conspiracy theorist and everything's manipulated in the market or anything like that. But what does happen is that there's people who know about this beforehand.
Mm.
There's people who are tracking the information. They have an idea of how the market is priced in. They know that, hey, this is actually what should happen. There's algos who are trying to, in this sense, bring the market down in order to be able to rinse it back up. There's all kinds of forces in play that make it so that this rise here, we had a rise that the price started rising back up and we didn't actually get to my target. My target here for the short, if the trend was going to continue, would be lower down over here to the next lower level, the next level that's been unmitigated. I wanted to short from over here to over here. That was my goal. But you'll notice that when the price turned around, where did it turn around? It turned around on this red line over here. This red line, as you might astutely notice, is a already mitigated level. This is a weekly level that's already been mitigated. It was mitigated over here a few days ago. But a mitigated level is still a level. It's not as strong as other levels, but the price can respond there. And the fact that it turned there, that's where it turned, is not a coincidence. So when you're in a trend, when you're in a trade, and you're passing through levels like this that are already mitigated, you want to keep in mind that, hey, I might have to pull my stop in. If I'm seeing a big bounce over here, I might need to close out. Right? So this, I should have actually closed out when the price came back all the way to VWAP over here, and started bouncing around. I should have been like, there's too much volume here. This is way more of a bounce that than I would expect from a weekly level. All right. And so the price came up, and then we had this massive run up. Yes, you can, if you wanted to, try to play the game of, hey, let me go in long because some news is coming in. Yeah, you can absolutely do that. Where did the price go up to? It first came here, bounced where? At the VWAP from yesterday. That's where I would have aimed to take my profit. This other run up, I mean, you can't know. Like it ran up over here. It came up to a previous high. This is just technical analysis. It chopped around here. Look at the wicks that you had. This whole thing was like pretty crazy. I would have just taken the trade from over here to up to this blue line over here, and then just maybe a trailing stop, or just take my profit from over here because it gave back all that afterwards. Now, you'll notice that I'll at market open on the US Open over here at 9:30. It did a bunch of shenanigans and then it gave up the ghost. All right. Because my bias was to the downside. As soon as this didn't continue and the market opened, I tried to get in as soon as I can over here. I tried, I think, 2 or 3 times in order to get into a trade. Because if I can get into a trade over here short, then I could ride. I know I have a longer way to ride down, and my upward level, the bullish level, was only to over here. And when I have more downside risk than upside risk, I like taking the side that has the most amount of risk, because I knew that if I was wrong and this kept going up, I would keep shorting until I got to this line, and I would already have a limit sell over here because I want to get this level down here because when we get to a level from underneath, we're likely to sell off. So I just kept shorting, and because I knew that I was looking for potentially up to 600 points to the downside, I'm willing to take 6 bites out of the apple on this thing.
Mm.
I'm totally willing to do that, and I was able to. By the time this trade opened up, I was already multiple contracts in to the downside, which is why I was up a grand or more, or whatever, 2,000, whatever it was. All right. But because today was a positive gamma day, which we won't go into, it was a choppy day, this reversed and we came back up to the same VWAP level that we were talking about here, here, and here. So it was one of those chop days. You don't your trend is not always guaranteed. And then when we got back over here, I took a short over here, made a couple $100 by the end of the day.
If I hear chop, man, I treat it like an agent in the Matrix. If I see chop, I run. I'm done with it.
A couple of signs for chop though, just to let you know. So we'll talk about gamma in the future because that's hard for people to wrap their heads around right now for positive gamma. But when the VWAP levels, the session VWAP and overnight VWAP levels are very close together at open, like so the whole day here is close together and
Yeah.
they were basically on top of each other, that usually means you're gonna have a chop day. Not
Mm.
always, but usually, especially for the open, for the until like 10 o'clock to 12 o'clock, usually it means you're gonna have a choppy day. It doesn't mean you can't have crazy violent moves. It means that this big trend is not likely to happen unless you have a catalyst. And the same thing is what we're going to see for the next day. Right now, we're coming into the next day, and the two VWAP levels are here. Oop, 1 second. All right, I'm lagging a bit. All right, the two VWAP levels are over here. All right, they're pretty close together. They're not as close as they were yesterday, but they're still pretty lined up. So we only have a little bit of a trade today, right? Today, there's barely anything. There's like a 18-point move. Like there's no trade at 6 o'clock tonight.
Mhm.
Like, don't take this trade. We're gonna have to see how price responds in the overnight to those two VWAP levels. If we break below that level, come up and then confirm it, then I'll take a short. If we come from above it and confirm up, then I might take a long. But these are longs or these are positions I'll have to nurse because there's no clear direction. And my bias overall is still towards the downside. All right. So we don't know what the trade is going to be like tomorrow. The setup is not there for the perfect trade. We're just going to have to let that go. The last thing I will pay attention to and point this out is that we want to pay attention to the dollar. The dollar bounced off its weekly level and moved back up. That's why we had this crazy sell off during the day. We saw that the corresponding thing was also happening in the dollar, and the dollar ended up the day higher than when we got in. So if we open again at 6 p.m. and the dollar is higher up, let's say gaps up over here, I'm going to assume that we're going to have a down in equities. If the dollar gaps down, I'm going to assume we're going to have a bullish equities. But I'll pay attention to how it goes between 6 and 7, and then possibly put my trade on at 7 or 8, trying to see if we can catch a trend for that day. Because once this consolidation breaks, we've had 2 days of consolidation. Once it breaks, we're gonna have a big move in one direction or the other, and I want to be there for it. And my expectation is that we're gonna break lower down. Why? Because Bitcoin is telling me, hey, liquidity ain't so great. Even though we had a big rally up in equities, Bitcoin is not joining. Bitcoin is my leading indicator for global liquidity. So the trend is towards the downside. All right, trend is towards the downside. So that's it. Any questions, Peter?
No questions, but I want to let you folks know if you haven't gone to sacredprofit.com to get those indicators, get them now. It's one thing to know the information, it's another thing to see it. See the information clearly on the charts. Get the indicators at sacredprofit.com. Do it now. Do it now.
Peter,
Yeah.
you did great last night.
Oh,
You
well,
took
thank
the
you.
trade.
Yeah.
You didn't double dip. You dip your toe in and you got out.
Mhm.
4 trades, man. Trend, partial trend, scalp, or no trade at all.
Bruh, the day I had compared to the overnight, It was like just completely different. Okay. Um, a complete nightmare during the day, just trading chop, getting all tilted. And then at night, just sitting back, watching the thing going up, knowing that the most I could lose was $75. And then the high, as I mean, I could have gone 2 contracts in, I could have gone 4 contracts, but I was this close. I had a prop firm account, folks. I had a prop firm account that was $1.40 away from blowing. And this guy over here, Sacred Profit, saved that account. Okay. I will never say anything bad about you again, you idiot. Damn. That didn't even
Damn,
that didn't even
God.
last. That didn't even last.
No, no, idiot means positive.
That's right. All the cool kids are calling each other idiots, you idiot.
Idiots. Hey, yeah, you're an idiot, you stupid idiot head. All right, guys, let's leave it there. Look, if you guys like this and you guys seem to be liking this, we will continue. I can't wait till we're sitting here with a day and there's a 300-point gap, and I go, guys, I'm going one NQ. I'm going to do 2 NQ contracts. Let's make $5,000-6,000 on this trade and see how it goes. Also, going to be great days, but for that, you got to learn. You got to put in your paces. You got to learn what to do because I can't guide your hand through everything. All I can do is create the best indicators that have ever been on the surface of the planet and give them to you at such a low cost that frankly, like I sweat how much I'm selling it for so little and how I should not be doing that. This is a $10,000 a year plan. I know that because I've been part of 10,000 year plans. You guys are getting a great deal. Peter,
Yeah,
that's it.
that's it.
See you guys tomorrow. Have fun.